Hear that that new Thrill Seeker though.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, it's sitting right there, bottom right there, on the bottom. Left.
This one?
Nope. Thrill Seeker, right next to it.
Oh.
Yeah. What was it? Do they have the whole album? Scroll. Scroll. Yes, they've got the whole album out. So this was one of the first bands I actually got to see at the Crown Coliseum before they got big. Now they actually end up having to sell out what do you call it? House of Blues and theaters and stuff like that. But I remember when they came out to an event at the Crown Coliseum for our church group that we had that was part of the schools, reaching out to schools. I can't remember what it was, but it was pronounced Rush or something. And I got to see them. And this was during their Thrill Seeker album. And they just made a 20-year anniversary edition. Hit Barbarian.
I mean, I listen to August Burns Red.
Do you? Favorite song, still will tear the place apart even to this day if I hear this song. And now they're doing a 20th anniversary. I'm stoked if they have a show coming out.
So I am always playing their Christmas shit because
I've never really got into it.
So I'm not a Christmas guy, like music wise. Like I don't, but Mandy loves Christmas. Yeah. So my compromise, like, yeah, I'll put on some fucking August Burns Red. Yeah. Sleigh Bells Ring.
They have an entire album for it. And I think they've been doing of them. Yeah, they've been doing it every year for a while.
They got a couple of them.
So, but I thought that I heard that they were doing a re-recording of the 20th anniversary on this. I was like, I am stoked to hear this. And
this has got to be it, man. It says 2025.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's it. Yep. It sounds great. And the re-recording with the vocals with Jake is awesome. And the fact that the drummer, what's his name? I can never remember his last name. I know it, but the drummer, phenomenal drummer. Back in the day, 20 years ago, he was great. Redoing this sounds even better. I'm like, oh. Yeah. They tweak it up a little bit with a solo on this. I was like, it's a new addition to it. But I like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting to like them, man. In the last couple of years, love it. We've actually been going to see more and more shows. Yeah. Part of it's been through VetTix. VetTix, awesome. If you're a vet, military, first responder, any of those credentials, you get access to special events, or not special events, but events that are happening. If they have like unsold seats, they'll give them to VetTix.
Really?
And, if it's a playoff game for the Dallas Stars, they'll have a lottery, and like, depending on how active and how long you've been a member of the site, you get coins. Okay. And hey, I'm wagering 5 entries into the lottery for the 4 tickets for the Dallas Stars playoff game.
Okay.
Right. So it's just a way of them divvying up those tickets. I've actually thought about putting some Nighthawk classes on there. So when I did my other company, Raptor, I had offered a couple of the NRA courses through there. If I had empty seats, like I'm running the class. Why not get photo ops of more people? Why not get people so I got empty seats, so bring them out here.
That'd be pretty cool.
So I think running those with Nighthawks, and if we have extras, I think one of the issues we might run into, and it's something I've been looking into, is like rental guns and stuff. But Michael already learned the hard way, when you don't keep track of a holster, it walks away.
Oh yeah, very quickly. I was like, especially if it's a universal or one that is a
no. Sorry, it was one of his mags. It was one of his mags for his everyday carry. So he was short a mag for his EDC.
What is his EDC?
I think he's been carrying the Canic.
Okay, yeah, no. I spend $40 every time I buy my CZ mags. I'm like, nope, no one runs.
Dude, the
CZs.
Smith & Wesson one's through ETS, $15.
What? See, you know what was interesting? I actually ended up having to what you call it?
$15.
So here's the thing. I recently just started finding some of these other ones. Like I think it was a PDP or some other mag something.
Sounds familiar.
I can't remember. They're off-brand ones. I tried it. Bad boy didn't even fit for the CZ, so I gave it back. I'm like, nope, not gonna deal with one that doesn't even fit in it. I did an exercise last weekend with my firearm and actually doing 1-shot reload, 1 shot. And sure enough, I've realized something I'd never actually had to deal with before, because of the practice I was doing there, was that my mag does not freely fall out without me having to do some kind of manipulation towards it.
So that's a problem.
That's a problem. One that I never thought, ever really sat there and thought about, because I'm sitting there having to do kind of like ideally a timing on there. So I was like, drop, and then hell, I had the extended mag, and I'm over here whipping it, trying to get it out, and it sure enough still
sounds like you
wouldn't do
got a burst somewhere, bro.
So
I saw the craziest thing. So this guy, so for our company, I go and I do quals across the regions.
Mm-hmm.
I went down to Freeport,
Yeah.
and one of the guys has a Bursa. It's a Beretta 92 clone.
Yeah.
We got about halfway through, and luckily we were doing training. It wasn't qualification, but we got halfway through.
Yeah.
And it locked up.
Oh.
And me thinking it's a Beretta clone, I'm thinking a locking block broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of times, if the locking block breaks after a fire, there's a live round in there.
Yeah.
The slide's not going to manipulate. Like, you've got to do some sketchy things to get that locking block clear, to rack it and clear it.
Yeah.
No, turns out he somehow had a burr on his slide.
Yeah.
And it finally just got to the point that it locked itself up. We had to just keep banging on it with a hammer and slowly get it to inch forward. Luckily, the round that was still in there was an empty. It had already been shot.
Yeah.
Which is why we kind of thought it was a squib.
Yeah.
But it was weird because we couldn't get it to unlock. But like, the squib, you kind of get the poof without much recoil, without the slide racking or anything.
Something's not right.
So, but again, we're going to treat it like there's a live round in there.
Yeah.
Until I know for a fact it's not.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. What was it? I'm trying to find something, because I saw something here earlier that absolutely scared me, and it was something I was going to mention in the podcast, but I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. And that's part of one of the things that I actually thought about when I was mentioning about holsters, because the way this dude holstered this thing scared me.
Hey.
And grandma's got some moves. Let's see. How do I pull this up?
So, I think that kind of goes well with ammo types, carry methods, holsters. Target transitions was kind of an oddball one you had out there in that list.
Yeah, it was. And what was it? I put that out there just to see how the conversation went. Here we go. My dude, look at this thing. Look at this dude. Dude doesn't even react, doesn't turn around, just panic and just...
Fucking stupid, man.
Dude, and he was rushing, doing something way too quick, was not paying attention, sent one between his legs. I'm like, oh my God. And that's where the...
Did you see the video of the dude? I can't tell if it's a 240 or a 249. If I saw the video, I could probably tell. In the clearing barrel, fires off a round with everyone in the armory around him.
I don't think so,
bro. I'll have to find it and forward it to you. So, dudes in the armory got the barrel in the clearing chamber.
Yeah.
Got the barrel in the clearing barrel.
Yeah.
Clearing chamber. Barrel in the clearing barrel, and you just see him stand there, and you just see a boom and a big thing of smoke and dust and everything, and everyone just turns and looks. Yeah, you just indeed in that clearing barrel.
You don't ever want to be that guy, but when you are, it hurts.
Oh, that was definitely that guy.
It starts to hurt.
Man, I told you we had someone fucking ND around in our lounge at the gun range, right?
No, in the lounge?
So, I don't know how much I can say. So, at a range in the Navy.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the armory and everything,
Yeah.
so it has to be staffed 24/7 because we have Cat 3 weapons, automatic. The moment you have one M16, M4, something that's capable of fully automatic, it's a Cat 3 weapon. It needs to be under surveillance 24/7.
Yeah.
So someone, duty guns. If people weren't there staffing it for the day, there was someone there on the overnights. They think it happened on the overnights. Dude was armed. The duty guns was armed and was in the lounge, fucking watching TMZ, watching Clint Eastwood doing quick draws, and popped a round off. Went over the change machine by like that much, hit the window, went across the street, and hit the main PT building.
Oh no. Bye-bye job.
So they never officially figured out who had done it.
No cameras?
No cameras.
That's an easy getaway thing.
So,
holy crap.
I mean, I just was like, oh, you know, all you got to do is go, hey. No, he didn't hear me. So,
who's ringing? Whose ears are ringing?
Bro, the lounge. I mean, look, most military buildings are literally cinder block filled with concrete.
Yep.
Like, that is it.
Yep.
So that lounge is a echo chamber. And could you imagine just popping off around, no ear pro, not expecting it? Just the.
I do it often. That's the thing, and
That's
I
bad.
get it is. I get on my boss about it because he does not wear ear pro, and I'm like, there's a reason why you can't hear anything happening, but yet your ears are actually still working. I don't know how you're doing it. He's been doing it for 3 years. I've been there. He's been doing it longer prior to that, where he doesn't wear his ear.
Man.
And it's silly, but you know what? It's like, hey, you're my boss. You do whatever you want. I mean, but it's ill advised, man.
Not to make light of it, but people legit kill themselves because of tinnitus or tinnitus.
Mm-hmm.
They go deaf,
Mm-hmm.
literally cannot hear anything,
Yep.
but they still hear
The E.
and it drives them mad.
Yeah. And
So no, I made the mistake a couple times, and like Michael, and again, sometimes that was just a mistake. We're down at the land,
yeah.
and no one's downrange,
Yeah.
and I look over and I see, the top of Ear Pro
Yeah.
over the top of the truck. I'm like, oh, he's got his Ear Pro on.
Nope.
Pop, pop, pop. Hey, hey. Like, damn it.
Yeah.
And he's done the same thing where he's been downrange and I'm walking back up to the truck for something and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Nope.
And pow, like,
Interestingly enough, even still being in an outdoor gun range, it still resonates.
It's loud.
So, oh yeah. What was it? Having those the berm, the baffles and everything, just everything bouncing back in the way that it echoes.
oh, because they got to have the elevation in case someone.
Yep, exactly. So, and sure enough, even with the open air on all throughout the entire range, it still resonates.
It echoes, man.
Oh yeah, to the point. And that's what I was like. No, everyone that got ears was like, because we don't want to play around with that. It was like thankfully the cool thing was that job that we worked at actually did a do hearing test on us. So hey, just make sure your ears are good. Cool, I'm down for it. Check me out. Cool.
So I think were you there when they had us do a hearing test?
Yeah, I did one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got in trouble and someone was trying to sue them over it.
Were they really?
I mean, why else would they just randomly come to take a baseline?
I thought it was annually. I thought they did that annually.
No.
So, interesting.
I mean, I had been with them for over a year and we'd only done it the once.
Yeah, that's true. But I know we were going through a transitional period too with one of them towards the end of it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
For me, some of it's just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. Well, what was it? That whole cleaning the.
Oh yeah, I ain't shoveling nothing.
Did it
without
once?
a respirator.
Never doing it again. I was like, this is a load of crap,
No.
and I was like, not doing this again.
No.
And that's why this current range I work at, I was like, nope. I was like, there's a reason why we need proper PPE for this.
So that is more something that they could get in trouble for. Like why someone decided to go after him over hearing stuff. Like I get it, but you could have hit him harder for lead.
Mm-hmm.
You are not supposed
exposure.
to shovel anything without a respirator out there.
Oh yeah,
Nothing.
Well, hell, even when they used the R2D2, they were sitting there with a hazmat suit.
Yeah,
they had a full fledged.
Did they have the respirators?
Oh yeah, it had a respirator because it had a oxygen tank to it. They had an actual
like SCBA
HEPA filter towards it. Yeah, they had one of those bad boys, and the only one that was allowed to do it was the manager, the general manager, and we had one other dude. Yeah, and he wasn't per se certified. He was just the guy that they chose for it.
I mean, and it doesn't. As long as you're wearing the PPE and you've been trained on it.
Yeah.
So like for us, which was really weird. So at the gun range at boot camp, I think we talked about it last time. Like all of our ammo was the frangible.
Mm-hmm.
It was all the clay, which blew my mind. Why the ones we were getting at the range were such crap and falling apart. Because we'd shot millions, and I've never had a round head snap off with the frangible. And I think we were using Winchester at the Navy range.
Winchester.
So, but I mean, we never had problems with them, man.
Really?
Never had problems with the ammo.
You know, it's interesting. The issues never really started until after COVID.
Yeah.
But that's another topic.
But in order for us to go clean traps, we had to do full poopy suit. So the hazmat, the Teflon, Tyvek, or the Tyvek fucking jump up suit. Had to do that with the duct tape. And then we actually had to have a full on like HEPA filter respirator and get it fitted to make sure, like, we had to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we didn't have lead exposure anymore. I mean, other than the primers, you always got a little bit of lead in the primer, but like we weren't a lead range anymore.
Yeah.
And we're literally just, you know, like the 55-gallon garbage totes, just those filled of clay dust, having to drag those out to the dumpster, dump them out.
Holy crap.
That's how, like, we're just dumping the stuff in a dumpster. It's literally clay.
Huh.
Now, aside from maybe, you know, the clay getting, but they kept, like, when we got tested, because I think twice in the 4 years I was there while we were cleaning traps, we had to wear a little sensor.
Yeah.
So as we're doing it and we're kicking up the dust, it's calculating, you know, what we're being exposed to. And they're like, yeah, we're only looking for lead. I'm like, man, well, I mean, cool, but there is no lead out here. I can tell you there's no fucking lead, but there's clay dust everywhere. I'm pretty sure clay dust in the lungs ain't no good.
Yeah. No, definitely. And
that's the new asbestos.
Right. Or was it mesothelioma? Man, and the different things that they can come up with, I'm sure that's the problem, is that you're going to end up substituting one problem for another. Yeah. And there's no perfect world in it. But after being in the indoor versus the outdoor, I'm like, I'm exposed to more an outdoor than I believe indoor, simply for the fact that the open air.
I'm actually curious, and this is my brain. I want to build a company that people want to be at, and I don't want to be United Healthcare CEO or president. That is just, I want everyone that's putting into it getting something back out of it.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't about me. The whole point of Nighthawk is to make everybody that we can touch better.
Yeah.
I mean, I am not a comms guy. I am okay with first aid. I know it. I can teach some of it. I'm not a first aid guy. You know, this is just not my forte. I'm a firearms guy. I mean, I can talk to you business and get you steered and maybe answer some questions and get you going in the right direction on that stuff. But I want to find someone that knows medical inside and out, that has certifications that we can start offering those classes on. And, you know, you make it a trip. I want it to be something you're willing to take vacation for.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Right.
Because this is not going to be necessarily just a day thing. It's going to be a
exactly.
weekend and extended. So, hell yeah.
And I mean, it could be, you know, do you come out for a weekend? Are we having a medical weekend where, you know, Saturday is Stop the Bleed and something else. And then Sunday we roll into TCCC with a mass casualty event. And we get to the point where we get that participation and we get volunteers and crisis actors to come out and participate in those mass casualties events.
So interestingly enough, my dad still works as a contractor with the military on having to either be a force or a cook, or even being sometimes a prisoner. So he still does that with them periodically. And my older sister, my mother, and I believe my cousin and aunt all do this. I have all ladies in my family that are more hardcore than I am, because they've actually go out there and do those simulations. And I think it's absolutely great.
Why am I just finding out about this? Why are we not doing more with it?
So to be fair, they're all in the Carolinas. So Carolina, Florida. And they've, like my current older sister right now, she was in, I want to say she was in South America for an event. I'm not for sure. But sure enough, she does it the most out of everyone else. My dad would be the next one on there.
Bro.
Yeah. My mom, she's in Kuwait.
I don't care where they're at.
Yeah. My mom.
If we can get an event going with something like that and offer that.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No,
travel ain't no thing.
I have an in on that portion because I have family that work for different companies, and some of the same ones where they actually do these simulations. So, and the thing is that some of them are contracted strictly with the military, some with the police force, I believe. And I could actually get that information to be able to present as an equal business that could actually house for stuff like that. So, especially if you're looking at doing something of that sort. Yes, I've got in on that.
Dude, 1000%. I would love to get to the point where we're offering our range and our training out to Fort Worth PD. Hey, look, we know you got your own range, but send some of your guys out to this class and do a mass casualty, mass shooter, active threat. I know a couple guys that are, like we were talking about the bodyguard, the PPO stuff earlier. So they're pretty damn good instructors when it comes to that, and to be able to provide them the opportunity to put people through a speech, and they're protecting their principal, and now there's an active shooter out in the crowd and they have to respond. Like, bro.
Hey, absolutely. Bro. Yeah, what was it? And the thing was, because my mom, she was the one that actually, she was actually one of the first ones that actually stepped into that world because of her ex-husband. And they ended up having to do contracting overseas because she's in Kuwait right now. And that's what she was essentially doing, is she was helping out with security. And that's what she does. She was bomb sweeping those vehicles at the gates. Yeah, my mom's more badass than I am. So I was like, my mom, my older sister, my aunt, and minus the cousin, they're about 4.5 feet tall. And they're more badass than me because of the things they do. Bro. They play around with the AKs. They play around with the flashbangs.
You gotta make super duper excited. Because even if they're not able to make it, they probably know people in and around the area.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, and I think that'd be super cool to actually have that as a option. If set big enough of not only a business but a property for it to be able to introduce those kinds of businesses, as well as those methods of types of trainings like that. Oh yeah, I was like, go straight to Nighthawks. They have everything you guys are going to need when it comes down to the basics over to the advanced.
So I was just over on the east side of Texas, or not Texas, Fort Worth. Texas. I'm a fucking idiot.
I mean, let's be fair. It's big enough you can say that.
So east side of Fort Worth, and I saw that there are a ton of abandoned buildings over there, like old factories and stuff. I mean, that's one we could legit stage a scenario. It's an all-day event where, different PPO companies are rolling through. We coordinate with PD because obviously there's probably going to be reports of shots fired. So they're already on scene. So if someone does arrive, they can. But basically just stage, we're going to rebuild this factory speech with chairs and an audience and everything. And they arrive with their principal. He gets up, active threat. They get him out. Boom. Next vehicle, and just reset. Like, dude.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. and as awesome as that is, it's interesting is that this is something that I didn't realize I wanted so much before I got into the firearms, because I didn't start messing around with guns other than occasionally shooting until 2019 when I got the job. When I got that job where we started working together, that was the first time I've actually ever really got hands-on and thrown into the deep end of things. And that was when I was realizing, I was like, I want this. How do I get more of this? And then sure enough, I've jumped to a different company, different type of work environment, which is actually inspired me more to do what I wasn't doing at the previous job. I didn't realize how much I actually enjoyed teaching and training. And beforehand, all I was doing was being a salesman and making sure no one clapped me or anyone else in the lanes. I do not want that. But then sure enough, I ended up into a position where it is a requirement for me to have to do what I need to do, just not to keep the range safe, but also to make sure that this is a benefit for the individual down the road. So that way it doesn't just not happen here. It doesn't happen at home or in any other place that they are involved with said firearm. And I didn't realize how much I actually enjoyed teaching. I learned that from the previous company I worked with, because I was teaching all these guys how to do their job. I was teaching the new recruits, as well as the ones that were already a little bit tenured, some new methods and what we can and cannot do because of the EPA and TDA. So with working with them, I was like, yeah, do this, do that, don't do this. And I was their manager, and I enjoyed the teaching. Then I got into this, and I'm like, I enjoy this just as much. And then it was only until the post that you posted about having to get pictures. I was like, hey, I take pictures. I was like, I'm just trying to get a portfolio filled up. It actually worked out really well because of how that day panned out. And I had already gotten experience with said firearms. I've already gotten experience with communications with people, having to actually converse and convey information, and then actually being in that environment for several years now, 5 years being in the firearms industry, I'm not shy to have to do what we need to. And
oh yeah, dude, that makes such a big difference.
oh, it does. And I get where, you know, the timidness could come from. But hell, dude, it worked in my favor that day because of how it panned out. I'm like, oh, I mean, you got something that can work. Here's a pamphlet. Got it. Let's go.
If there's anything I am, it's I try to be as prepared as possible.
Dude, that was awesome that you had that.
As redundant as like. Well, I want everyone to be able to take that ownership. And in the last couple classes, I started kind of forcing Jim and Michael to get involved in little ways.
Oh, absolutely.
To run a demo, to shake the look at, you're bound to make mistakes. Even as you're doing a demo, look, I make bad shots. It happens. It's all about a part of learning.
Yep.
I make bad shots. It happens. You just gotta shake it. Shit happens.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
Move on to the next thing. Make the next one count. Make a joke about it.
No, absolutely.
This is what you don't do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the fun thing is working at a range that requires you to really be involved with the customers has actually probably introduced me to have to realize it was like, hey, someone once said that if you're going to be a instructor, you're not going to be shooting very much ever again. I was like, what are you talking about? And lo and behold, it's because here's the thing, you're going to be trying to teach people how to do something. And if you try doing it and you can't do it, kind of really looks bad on you because you're telling someone that something of how to do something that you can't even replicate. I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But it
So I'm always going to try to demo something.
Yeah.
I do. I have definitely seen instructors, and whether I honest to God couldn't tell you whether they were good or not, other than what they had verbally told us.
right.
Like, look, I'm the first one to tell you, I'm a miss. It happens from time to time. Sometimes I rush a shot. I didn't have as clear of a sight picture as I thought I did. I jerked. I miss. It happens.
It happens.
It sucks. And that's why I continue to strive to get better. So hopefully one day I never miss again.
Yeah.
It ain't never going to happen.
Nope.
But I can at least pretend that I'll get there one day.
Oh, absolutely.
But I have legit had instructors that didn't fire a single shot because their reasoning at the end was, well, I don't want to, embarrass anyone, which could include myself. And I'm like, I got it, but demonstrate a skill.
Absolutely.
Why should I trust you?
It reinforces it.
Yeah.
So, and I think the part that you actually sit there and realize that, hey, you are human. You are going to make just as much mistakes as the next person. Just try to have to make it as minimal as possible. And I think when you do that, you bring some levity to this environment, especially with the fact that we're trying to inspire and motivate and train and teach the beginner portions of people. That's your target demographics currently, is having to go for the people who may not be able to afford it or may be limited on certain things, but still want to be in this world and experience some of it without being excluded for the simple fact that time, distance, location, finances, it's affordable. It's close by. It's an all day. You don't have to do it all day, but take your time and do what you need to do.
The affordable part's so hard because just firearms are inherently expensive.
Yeah, it's just that part alone. Almost like and heck, the first one that we had what, 2 guys that didn't even have rifles. I know it was one young guy with his dad.
It wasn't his dad, coworker.
That was a coworker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was just the one guy.
Okay, so we just had one guy who didn't have a firearm.
And I think he did start with one of his buddies, and I think it went down, didn't it?
I think there was. I don't think he had a sling.
Or no.
Or something.
They were trading off.
That's yeah.
They were on opposite lines. So while one was jamming mags, the other was up shooting.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And they were just.
And then I think someone loaned the rifle. One of theirs. I don't know if it was you or Michael. So someone loaned him a gun, so he was going.
I thought it was you.
I was there with a photo. I was here with the camera. I didn't have a gun.
I thought maybe it was Michael.
Yeah, so I didn't have a firearm on me. I had my handgun, but I didn't have a other firearm on me for the rifle portion. But yeah, the simple fact that someone still came out to have to tend to that without even a firearm, having the goal of, hey, you need something, we got it, because you want to be here, you paid for
take care of
it.
you.
Yeah, I think that's great, and it's not to say that we have to have an armory. Don't get me wrong, as awesome as that would be. It's to have it is still beneficial. For something like that to happen. I was like, hey, this guy's rifle went down. He doesn't have a spare. I was like, well, I don't know very many people are going to want to be willing to let you use your rifle, but we got one for you. Here you go. So
I would love, even if we're doing some Franken builds, just so we have them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would love to be able to offer that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to hand out your own baby.
I want to say that I currently have two platforms that I'm building that are going to have the specifics and the special things that I want on it. The current one that I'm rocking is just a Ruger 5.56. It is nothing too big, nothing too special. It does its thing.
Mine's just a Delton with a fancy paint job that I did.
Yeah, and I had a Delton, but it was a 7.5 inch, and I was like, cool.
No, it's full length barrel.
Yeah. Sorry, this is the second time I'm doing that. But yeah, no, sure enough. What was it? What you call it? It's just a Ruger 5.56. It doesn't scream fancy. It doesn't scream, this is the ideal thing that you want. It's a bare essential basic rifle. But I've become proficient with it because I've started learning how to utilize it. Not only just the type of ammo that it particularly wants, but also being able to put a red dot, a magnifier, an LPVO, or irons on them. And I still know how to function and how to use the firearm accordingly.
So I'm just super proud of... I took a Delton and turned it into something that's comfortable, fun, and accurate. I got it there.
Oh yeah,
it's tuned to me.
Yeah.
It's all the things that I like, all the bells and whistles. I think my safety selector could probably be freed up a little bit. I think it sticks a little more than I'd like it to.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I know my gun.
Pull the Dremel out. That's all you need.
And polish.
Yeah. Yeah,
no hard bits, just a polish.
Yeah, just scratch it with a fingernail or something.
Just a polish. I mean, what I know exactly why it's sticky.
Yeah,
is the tolerance got filled up by a little bit of the spray paint when I taped it. I didn't tape it well enough, so there's a little. I mean, so I was hoping I was going to be able to wear it out. It's just is gumming it up more, so I'm probably just gonna have to go in, polish it out.
Yeah.
But the thing I pride myself on is being able to take that. Did we freeze or something?
No, you're good.
Okay. Oh, you were looking over like it froze.
I was looking at the list of the Memphis May Fire.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I am super proud that I can take a Hollow Sun, a Hollow Sun magnifier, and a Delton and make it do the things it does.
Oh, absolutely.
It removes the doubt in especially a brand new shooter's mind of, well, of course he can do it. Look, he's got a Cobalt, $5,000 rifle. Well, of course he can do that. Like, look, man, I am rocking something cheaper than you.
Yeah.
Out the door with optics and everything.
Yeah.
My rig's cheaper than yours.
Yeah.
And you can do it.
And I love actually working with the bare essentials. Having to actually learn how to be better, not be limited simply for the fact that you have a $300, $400, $500, $600 rifle versus a $2,000 or $3,000 rifle. With all the specs on there, I'm like, it's not a matter of what kind of expense you have on it. Will it make a difference? Yes, it will to a degree, but it's a matter of what you know behind it. You don't even know how to shoulder the bad boy properly. Like, hey,
don't be wrong. If given the choice of my Delton or a Cobalt, I'm gonna take a Cobalt.
Yeah,
it's just the one thing I didn't like about the Cobalt was the brake that it had on it.
Yeah,
and it's a laser welded brake. So you ain't changing it.
Yeah.
Because it's a 14.5-inch barrel with a 2.5 inch or 1.5 inch brake to get it to 16.
Yeah.
And one of the requirements is that it's either pinned or welded. So it's laser. So you're stuck with that brake.
It's not coming
and
out.
it has the baffles, and the baffles are so they're angled so sharply backwards that you get the blast in the face every single time. I was like, this sucks.
How's that recoil though?
So I will take the Cobalt. Actually, when I was up in Wisconsin, I was working at a range in Illinois.
Yeah.
And those guys are, at least they were, I don't know, maybe they've moved, but at 2017-ish, is they were up out of like the Chicago area, and they were bringing their Cobalts there at the range we were working at to test them and everything. And we were one of the first stores that started selling them. And we had one on our rental wall, and I'm like,
I don't think I've ever seen a Cobalt before.
I think we had one at the range at one point, but it's like a $4 or $5 grand competition, right?
Oh wow!
I mean,
and here's the thing. Like I said, learn how to be the best you can with the bare minimum. And if you could do that, guess what?
How much better are you gonna be?
Exactly. Throw yourself on something that actually has a proper engine to run, and you've already learned how to handle the bare minimum, the lesser than, the mediocre, whatever you want to call it. You've learned how to be that good with that. Now just translate that over to new one. And then how well could you do with that? You don't have to learn the basics on this. You just have to learn how this one works. Yeah. And oftentimes the biggest thing that usually is the case is that trigger. Trigger's the biggest thing. It was like everyone was whoop.
Trigger's the thing that messes everyone up the most.
Oh yeah.
And it still gets me. It still gets me.
Oh yeah. If you don't dry fire that bad boy before you actually start putting a round through it, you're gonna hurt yourself because you end up sitting there. Oh, no, anticipation.
I don't know what it is. It's usually round number 4.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I don't know.
What is it that happens on 4?
It's the one that I throw.
Really?
So, like if I'm doing like just 5-round groups, pop, 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 pop. It's the 4th one I will throw low left.
Really? You got too comfortable?
But it's not like I'm just pop, pop. You know, I'm doing a 5-round burst.
Yeah.
Getting a proper sight. I mean, I'm still going for fast splits. I'm not doing double taps. I'm controlled, but I'm pushing the edge of how fast I'm going. It's round 4. I always throw it low left. I don't know if I'm just trying to snap it too quick to get to 5 and get that fast time, and I'm not re-engaging. I don't know.
Bing, 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 bing.
But they said if I go starting cold, and I go 5 rounds, 4th round I'm throwing.
And what was it with the rifle? I haven't actually done any recent exercises on the rifle because I've been stuck on the handgun section for a good minute. So I've fiddled around with someone's rifle because they bring it in. And most recent, I've actually been playing around with the newest brake that someone has, where it just reduces the muzzle and the can on top of it just it's butter. And sure enough, we're doing a low ready, and I'm just doing a couple of reps on there until we finally actually pull up and actually send it. And I've actually done a few of those practicing, but I haven't done as many on the rifle as I need to in comparison to the handgun.
I got to get back on rifle, man. I'll be fair. I absolutely love pistol.
Yeah.
And it kills me that everyone's so rifle.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, man. I love rifle. There is no better thing in the morning than, and I don't get it with pistol. I don't. But the first 3 or 4 rounds of that fresh cordite smell on rifle, bro,
it does something.
It makes your day.
It does.
It better than a cup of coffee.
That's why I enjoy working at the gun range. I was like,
and like, I don't get that on pistol, man. Like first thing in the morning, pop off some pistol round. Like, I don't get it.
No, you're play with the 22. Play with the 22. You're gonna get some funky smell out of it, but it won't be the same.
No, you're not getting that sharp pungent from the cordite of the rifle.
No, you're right. So that's that target that I practice shooting at 50 yards. So you see how narrow it is.
Yeah.
So it's not a proper silhouette. So it's not as big. It's the circle is probably sitting at 8 inches. And
show that to the camera. It's too bright.
It ain't gonna work.
It's too bright.
Or you can do it that way. So yeah. So we actually have a couple of those, And what we do is we'll actually hang it up on the baffles at the end of the berm, and we've got it sitting up with chains or 550 cord, and we're shooting that from the 50-yard line. So you're already looking at an 8-inch target that far off. And then everything else on the narrow portion, you're looking at maybe 4 inches, 5 inches of a vertical column going straight down at 50 yards.
Yeah.
We're hitting predominantly in the ballpark whenever we're missing, so it's never too drastic when it's off. But when we're hitting it, it's the most satisfying thing, whether it's a rifle or a pistol, because mostly it's been with a pistol as of late. But that's what we've been doing with some of their low readies on having to hit a target like that where we don't have the full 14, 15 inches worth of a chest on there.
So I ended up having to use like the distance calculator on one of the Google apps.
Yeah.
My farthest confirmed 8-inch piece of steel with pistol was 67 yards.
Really?
And I haven't been able to repeat it, man. And I was on fire. I was like 7 for 10.
Really?
I did a mag reload.
Yeah.
And I could not hit it again.
Oh, no way, really?
Dude, I was like, ting, bang, ting, 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 bang, ting, ting, ting.
What the
reload,
hell?
bang, 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 bang. Like, damn it.
You saw the video clip I had posted of me doing the 100-yard, right?
I think so.
Did you?
Because you sent it in one of the.
So, let's see.
It was playing.
They got the audio. There you go. Look at that, 100 yards. Just leveled up to 100 yards. 100 yards. That's the handgun. What was it? And that I was like, I really need to stop fooling around because it's just now I'm just chasing something that I don't need to be chasing.
So I had a couple hits. I guess same 8-inch piece of steel. I had a couple hits at 69.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael was so excited because when we hit it with the laser rangefinder, I was trying to hit 75 yards with the VTech wall.
Yeah.
And I lased it and I was like, fuck, 69 yards. And he goes, huh? How far? Like 69. He goes, nah, leave it there.
and to be fair, these are when you sit there and think about it, the realistic distances that you're going to come across situations. If you're that far,
I'm never taking that shot in real life with a pistol.
No, at that distance, it's unrealistic and that's more of a problem than anything else. And if you're there at that far away, go the other direction. That's just the safest bet. But if something, God forbid, ever gets to a point where, guess what? That's the rock. I'm in the hard place. All right, this is, and it's reassuring to know that we're aiming at targets that small, at that distance. And if it even gets the ding, at least it means we're sending it in the right direction.
So one of the videos we have on TikTok is I was doing the run, but one of the things I started out at the land was, start at 10 yards and we've got the 8-inch piece of steel, shoot, hit, move back 5 yards, shoot, hit, move back 5 yards. And we didn't set a limit on how many rounds, basically you got to hit, you got to move. Tactical rifleman, he's got a similar drill where I think you get a total of 5 rounds. If you miss, it's either 3 or 5.
Yeah.
If you miss all 5, then you're out.
Yeah.
That's where you're out. But you keep going, and he said that there was like competition pistol shooters, like they were 200 yards, like pistol. I was like, gee,
With a pistol?
Yeah,
Holy crap!
Jerry Michalak. Now, granted, he didn't hit the balloon. He hit. I mean, it was like a 2 by 4 foot piece of steel.
Yeah,
with the balloon on it. He hit it at 1,000 yards with his 9.
Really? See, and I'm trying to remember because I know what they said about 100-yard distance with a 9mm. You're looking at well over a foot of a bullet drop.
Oh yeah, he's like I was aiming well like 30 feet above.
At that point, I'm literally just throwing a bullet and hoping that it falls in the right spot. Wow.
No, what's funny is the delay.
Oh yeah,
because he starts lining up, getting ready to take another shot.
By the time you hear it,
and you see the balloon pop,
wow.
And he's woo. Woo!
Hell yeah, I would be pretty ecstatic. You said 1,000?
1,000 yards.
1,000 yards, man. That's ridiculous.
So, yeah, Jerry Mitchellak, 1,000-yard pistol shot.
Hey guys, I'm Jerry Mitchellak. I'm out here on a 1,000-yard range. I have my new 929 JM revolver. It's a 9mm, 8-shot Smith & Wesson end frame. I've got a target of opportunity here, a balloon, and I've got some clips loaded up with some Hornady 147 grain XTP bullets. And we're going to wander all the way back to 1,000 yards and see if we can pop this balloon for you guys, and just see what it takes to make that happen. Ought to be fun.
Yeah, it's like second
Back at
or
1,000
third
yards.
shot.
Got the trusty Jerry Mitchellak Signature Series 929 revolver. Have some Hornady 147 XTP ammunition. I've got my balloon at 1,000.
This man makes me want to have a
And what do you
revolver.
say, guys? You want to break that balloon?
This man just makes me want to do better.
You're
I
right.
think we can make this happen.
And look at the arc on that thing.
Oh, yeah. Low.
Oh, that delay.
They say, you
Man.
see, he starts lining up, getting ready to take another shot.
That is a hell of a distance.
Have you seen his reloads?
Yes, man, and that's one of the things I like about it is like I said, it doesn't matter what you have. Be good at what you have. And I've seen how fast he gets that cylinder out and back in and ready. I'm like, you don't need to be his speed on that.
So
But
he is using speed clips, though.
To be fair, yes. But I'm talking about if that's all you have, if all you're rocking is a 6-shooter, you don't have to be him.
He is my argument when you talk about states that have capacity limits on magazines. Like, oh, well, having 7 rounds in the magazine causes the shooter to have to reload more frequently, slowing them down. Like, no. If the shooter even kind of remotely practices and knows what they're doing, the delay is enough time for someone to gain the balls to stand up
Yeah.
and be my next target. Like Jerry Mitchellak, shot 6, reloaded, shot 6 on 3 separate targets in 2.99 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
Anyone could do this.
Yeah.
With enough practice.
and even and a pistol, like a semi-automatic magazine-fed pistol, is going to take far less practice. And not that I want to air that, because now they're going, oh, we got fixed magazines and pistols. Like,
No,
that's
like,
not
you're just
the
giving us,
point.
you're just giving us a new challenge. That's all you're really
yeah.
doing.
I mean, and look, engineers are going to find a way. I mean, that's where the bullet button came from.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, it's like all these compliancy things, like, you guys aren't helping the situation.
No.
To me, we have a bigger mental health problem
Oh, absolutely.
worldwide
Yeah.
than we do a firearm problem.
We got a gun sitting over there with a secondary magazine in its holster, and it hasn't done a damn thing since I've been here.
No,
I have yet to see the problem.
hasn't moved.
No.
But we need to focus. I mean, look, bullies have existed since I was in school. I'm pretty sure they existed when you were in school. Bullies haven't gotten worse or gone anywhere. The means of harassment have maybe changed through social media. Maybe we should, like, one of the things that blows my mind the most is from being a manager of people is people.
Yeah.
They never cease to amaze me. I think once I've seen it all, I see something new. You know, like, we'll have people that come to us and be like, oh, well, this person's talking about my business to other people. Like, okay, well, how does this person know your business? Well, I told them. Okay, well, this person, that they are under no requirement to not tell. I mean, they shouldn't. It's not a conversation that should be had in the workplace in the first place. Let alone, like, so you're right. They shouldn't be talking about that, but there's no confidentiality between you and them. If you have a problem with them telling people your business, stop telling them your business.
Problem solved.
It happens so much. It blows my mind.
And And when it circles back with at least like the firearm bit, it doesn't help that we're looking at a literal inanimate object and putting any form of blame on towards it as if it had anything to do. There we go. Whoopsies. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help that we have an inanimate object that's taking the brunt of any kind of blame, when in actuality it's who's controlling it.
It's a tool.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are going to outlaw hammers because someone ends up going on a hammer spree. Surprised you guys haven't done it with machetes, because those are known to have to be just as equal good.
Pocket knives are illegal in the UK.
Yeah, now, yeah. Interestingly enough, I'm like, they took away one thing, now they took another, but you didn't think they were going to go after that until someone decided to challenge it.
Now I start carrying a sharpened butter knife.
Right? I was like, oh, we can't do that now. But it's just, and that's the problem when it comes down to politicians thinking, and not even politicians, just the ideology. Ideology.
Did you just say a politician was thinking?
Right. I was like, hold on real quick. That's why I had to correct it. It's just the ideology thinking that
the hamster on that wheel's long been dead.
Yeah, right. It was like, it's just momentum keeping it now. And it's just the ideology thinking that if you remove this, you remove the heart of man. I was like, no, the problem is the heart of man. You give him something that can be used for good, he will find a way to do something bad with it. I was talking to one of my trainers the other day in regards to drones. Super cool, fun little things. I played around with one before, and I actually love the idea that they actually want to turn it into a sport where you can see them doing all those tricks and flying around buildings and stuff. That's awesome. And then all of a sudden, someone decides to put a gun and a mortar on one. I'm like,
I mean,
innovative, yes. Work? Does it work? Oh yeah. Problem is,
humans are animals.
Yeah.
Humans are literal animals.
Yeah.
And ants wage war against other colonies of ants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's okay. I would love for everyone to be able to love and accept each other for who they are. But people are going to do harm.
Yeah.
The difference is the people that are willing to stand in the way of those willing to do harm to the innocent.
And it, as much like you said, I would love for us to be in a place where we could all be accepting and loving towards, where anything negative or malicious or bad would ever happen to the point where we have to feel that we need to protect ourselves. But that's not the world that we live in, and it's not the world we will ever live in. So with that being said, as long as we still exist in that kind of a freedom to have, we still need to have our firearms. Just because of the simple fact, someone's going to end up finding a way to do something that does not need to be done, and it doesn't need to be with a firearm. They'll find a different way to do it.
I mean, Pfizer's really trying to help get us to that world. Here, take these pills. Everyone will love each other.
I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I was like, I think I'll just keep hating everyone.
So there's what is it called? I think it's called The Giver, and there's a movie.
Yeah, I've read the book and
Did you?
seen the movie? Yeah.
So they got to take that medication, and it keeps them seeing the world in black and white because differences are bad.
Yeah.
You know what strikes me the most about that movie is I remember growing up, the emphasis was quote unquote being colorblind, right? Someone's color didn't matter. We shouldn't be looking that as a tool of a means of identification at all.
Yeah.
And in the last 15 years, that has become the identifier instead of the it's melanin.
Yeah.
It's a shade.
Yeah, it's not a trait, it's a characteristic. And even that characteristic, it's minimal.
And it's something I can literally change by standing out in the sun for a little too long.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, like, we don't make red people. You know what it does? The sun. Keep you out there long enough.
But I mean, so I remember, and that's the thing that strikes me the most now is I remember growing up, and over and over again, it was color doesn't matter. It's the character. It's the things they do. It's them. The exterior is no different. You know, you don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah. It's the story inside.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter what's on the outside. And now that's become the highlight.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that kills me is we went from trying to get everyone kumbaya and forgetting that our differences are what make us special, but not what divide us. To now are the things that make us special also divide us, and screw you if you're different.
And that's the thing is, I think I just recently found out with my girlfriend is finding out that I actually have an empathetic bone in my body.
Yeah, I'm hard with that one.
Yeah, and it was during a really hard conversation that we had, and it was like, I don't know how to empathize. I can show sympathy, but I don't know how to empathize with people, and it's not a positive, but it's not a negative either. It's just one of those things that I don't know how to utilize and how to introduce and how to
approach.
Not even just approach, just I don't know how to utilize that if I were to try to, and that's why I'm usually quiet on certain topics when it comes down to a moment of being empathetic. That being said, I don't know how to think like a victim like that, where it was like it's based off of your skin tone or your skin color. If you look at my family tree, I'm the darkest on both sides. The best part about my family tree is that I've never met my blood father, but the only father that I have is from Indiana, and he's white. So that's the only father figure that I have known, and he's white. So I am not white at all.
Bro, I'm a damn mutt. I mean, there's so much brewing around in here. I mean, immigrants, every single part of it. I mean, my grandmother and grandfather on my dad's side were both like first generation immigrants. Like, come on.
No, and that's the thing is that I don't know how people can easily look at it, because my ex-wife was black. I'm brown. My family is predominantly white, and my Spanish side is predominantly light-skinned Hispanics. I don't know how to look at this in any other way of saying, oh, woe is me, I am not being treated right just because I'm being treated wrong for something because of my skin tone. I've experienced racism before. It was only properly once.
I mean, so have I.
Yeah.
So have I.
And then it's just like, I don't know how to be like, oh no, screw you. I was like, it's just, how does one do that? And this is the part where I realized I don't know how to be empathetic, is that I can't relate to certain people on the experiences that they have. I have my own experience. I don't need you to have to experience them, but here's the thing. Who gives a flying flip?
I mean,
be a better person.
I can tell you the first time I experienced racism, I even realized I was more confused.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Yeah.
I got told, hey, man, why don't you go drown in some soup? And I was like, what? And it literally took me, I used to work in an amusement park, and I was working the canoes, pissed some kid off or whatever, and he said it. And I was like, I was complaining to him. I was like, yeah, I still don't know what that means. And my mom goes, yeah.
You want some salt on that?
Yeah. My mom's like, oh, he called you a cracker.
Yeah.
I was like,
saltine.
I was like, a cracker? She's like, yeah. And then I learned the real history of that word, and I was like, why is that even? Never mind.
Yeah. It's just, it just boggles my mind. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I can't get along behind your ideology, your movements, your protests and such, because that doesn't affect me. And it's not that it doesn't affect you. I just can't support you for being a little bitch.
So look, I am all for, like, I don't doubt. And we can see it. And one, it starts with policing your own community. I don't mean by actual police.
No.
But it means holding your neighbor accountable. And I mean, the whole it takes a village is so lost.
It's alien like now.
Everyone
understands that.
No one wants to be involved in anything. Correcting someone, now you're about to get chatty. You don't tell my kid what to do. Like, whoa. But bro, it blows my mind that we've gotten there, and I lost track of where I was at.
Problem is we can't spank our kids without getting in trouble, and everyone got comfortable with bringing their bedroom out of the house. I'm like, nah, keep that home. We don't need that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember. Do you remember being a kid learning about like the voting process in school?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Like you did a mock election, you got your little I voted sticker.
Mm.
I mean, at least we did it when I was in school. Every time an election year came up, we learned about the election.
Oh, we didn't go that hard. We just kind of got the reading portion.
Okay.
Yeah, we just read, never did a mock.
So like the school would do a mock election and, all the students would elect whoever of the two presidents was running or whatever, just so you could participate in the process and see. And I remember going home and growing up with, as a kid with my brother and my mom, we lived with our grandparents. And I was like, well, Grandma, who are you voting for? It's none of your business. Like, whoa, okay. Like here I am trying to learn about this process. And I almost wish politics went back to it's very important to discuss topics, but to start debating, the problem is it doesn't turn into debate or discourse anymore. It turns into argument, and it's always talking points instead of like, let's try to see it from each other's perspective. It's just, well,
right, wrong.
Well, the FBI statistic on homicide says this, and blue hair people tend to do that. Like it's the talking points that people are regurgitating instead of having their own opinion, instead of working through the problem and even having a potential solution. Like in the workforce, that's the thing that boggles my mind the most is the volume of complaints versus the number of proposed solutions. Like it's one thing to moan and groan and complain. It's one thing to, hey, we have a problem. I don't know if this is a solution, but I've at least put forth an effort to how can we improve this? And maybe my idea is dumb and it's actually a regression from where we're at now, and that can be explained. But it's always just, oh, well, this sucks and that sucks. And, well, what do we do to fix it? Well, I don't know.
Why even bother complaining if you're not gonna? It was like it should be. It should almost be required to have one or the other, but you should have both.
But it's like, all right, but it sucks compared to what? What are you using that works well?
Yeah.
Like give me that example so now I can. Oh, you're right. This functionality is like, so for the company I'm at, when I was in a hiring manager role, the system we were using, they were trying to help streamline the process. And I mean, I don't know. I'd imagine even the alarm field is getting more and more IT based with checkboxes and workflows. Every click I can save you may only be 1.2 seconds, but now multiply that by 100 applicants, by 100 jobs, by however many days in a year. How much time did I save you by reducing 3 clicks that now add up to 6 seconds per applicant? And like, that was one of the things I was talking to that team about. Every year, HASIS or ACES, they have a security convention that, it's kind of like SHOT Show, but for security, and it moves around all over the place.
Yeah.
They had it here in Dallas a couple of years ago, and one of the reps came to our company, soiree. And I was talking to him. I was like, yeah, so I really like this. I noticed the website has gotten more reactive here. It's slow when you try to do these things. Can we add other options? Just talking to those guys, trying to figure out a better workflow and better process. But offering, not just going, yeah, your site sucks. It's slow. I got to click too many things to make one thing happen. Like it wasn't that. It was, hey, I really love that you changed that. I used to have to click the checkbox, select this reason of why they were a bad fit, then select another drop down reason. Now I can just go, yeah, no thanks, send them an email, boom.
And it's constructive. And that's the thing, is that a lot of the issues that are going on right now is that people do not want to actually have a constructive discussion. It's a dialogue with whataboutisms as well as one up on the next person. I was like, hold on real quick. This is the discussion. This discussion requires an idea that needs to be tossed back and forth with different angles from both mine and yours. And unfortunately, we don't have very many perspectives and outlooks and lenses to look at these things anymore because we become so tunnel vision. And it's not just a personal thing. It's just the way society kind of is gathering towards. And it was like, hey, focus on this thing. And then when you're done with it, I'm going to focus on this thing. It's going to focus on this instead of having it being just so broad, which just becomes more difficult to have to, the attention span of everyone is so minimized. to where we can't think of multiple different possibilities of rights and wrongs or what ifs and could be's about something, that we get stuck in with a feeling or an emotion of how this is affecting me. And sometimes it doesn't even affect you at all. It's just you want it to affect you.
Yeah.
So that's
my thing, man. I try to take ownership of anything, whether it be the emotion, the mood, the situation. It doesn't matter if someone else put me there. It's still my situation. I'm still in it. Do I bitch and moan about it, or do I work towards a resolution?
right. Resolution.
I'm gonna work towards a resolution. I mean, I'm gonna. There are instances where I'm gonna kick the dirt and get my gripes out because sometimes life is just BS.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the job done while I'm doing, instead of just
don't boast it on a platform and on a media and ask for a like to have to fixate your endorphins and your dopamine fix on there. It's just to have to validate your reason and your whys and your ifs, ands, and buts about it.